Good day. Welcome to our course G10 Business Correspondence. This time, I'll help you to explain and discuss the 8 attributes of a good letter writer and the 8 C's of a good letter in business correspondence and their relationship, with a highlight the self and the C's. Now, many have asked, why is it important to know the 8 attributes and the C's of a business correspondence? As we have known, business correspondence means the exchange of information in a written format for the process of business activities. Business correspondence can take place between organizations within organizations, or between their customers and the organization. The correspondence refers to the written communication between persons. So now, let's have the attributes of a good letter writer and the C's of a good business letter in a business correspondence and their relationship. So as we have seen, we have the 8 attributes of a good letter writer. First, we have the keen imagination. Second, richness of specific terms. Third, good command of English. Fourth, enthusiasm. Fifth, sense of humor. Sixth, personal and individual. Seventh, understanding of human nature. And the last one is the good judgment. And on the other side, we have the 8 C's, which are the clarity, conciseness, consideration, courtesy, concreteness, cheerfulness, correctness, and character. Now, let's take first the 8 attributes. The first one is the keen imagination. Keen imagination is akin to creativity. This requires sharp or quick imagination, for through this you can readily visualize something different, something better. This means being not contented with what is common, and you will best manifest this, or a good example of it is on a class report. In doing a class report, one must have to be creative and original, for the worst enemy of keen imagination is imitation or mere copying. Second is the richness of specific terms. This means being good in vocabularies. The third one is good command of English. It uses a common set of symbols, signs, or behaviors. As you have known, it includes grammar, sentence construction, unity, and coherence. And the fourth, we have the enthusiasm. This means that the oozing interest in something, that feeling of excitement over something, it is enthusiasm. And if you have that in your affairs, then you are an enthusiastic person. Being enthusiastic means being fully interested in your business. And here, one must take note that you must say what you mean. And the fifth one is the sense of humor. This refers to adaptability or flexibility and tactfulness. Many of us think that sense of humor simply means the ability to tell jokes or something being funny, but it is more on detecting the humor in the words or in the situation. The sixth, we have the personal and individual. First, let's have the personal. Personal means being courteous or respectful, friendly, accommodating, and has the willingness to serve. And about being individual, it means the viewpoint of view. It further means treating the person as an individual with their own specific needs. The seventh one is the understanding of human nature. It is manifested through our dealings with other people. Then, the keyword here is tolerance. Tolerance is the key because we know that people have different personalities, but please note that when abuse is sensed, tolerance must end. And we have the last one, the good judgment. When you can ever say that you have made a good judgment, we must consider these following 6 principles. We have the keen intellect, normal emotionality, thorough understanding of human nature, sincerity, integrity, and business experience. So, those are the 8 attributes of a good letter writer with its corresponding meanings. And now, let's go on to the 8 C's of a business letter. First, we have the clarity, the quality or condition of being clear or easy to understand. It makes the content easy to read and understand. This means that after reading the letter, the recipient now fully understands the content with no more question asked and already knows what to do or how to act upon the letter. In other words, there is clearness if the letter has complete data, uses familiar or simple words, and is correct, concrete, and concise. Next, we have the conciseness, stating the information that's important and pertinent. Avoid using unnecessary words. That means communicating complete information about a topic or idea in a few words. This involves being mindful of word of choice. So, conciseness means that the letter is brief but complete. In other words, the meaning should not be sacrificed. It must, however, exclude unnecessary details. The third one is the consideration. Think of or consider the reader and his feelings and point of view. Your letter must be focused on the needs of the recipient, not on yours. In other words, your letter must have the viewpoint of view, understanding and give what he wants and what he desires. And on courtesy, it refers on showing respect to the reader. Needless to say, this requires politeness in words and expression. And here, we will best manifest this by using courteous words such as please, may, or kindly. Next, we have the concreteness, the use of vivid words within the letter that appeals to the reader's senses. This means that the words used are specific, exact, and definite. Next, we have the cheerfulness. It demonstrates a positive attitude that expresses joy and cheer, the quality or state of being noticeably happy and optimistic. This is manifested through the following: friendliness, optimism, and willingness to serve. The seventh one is the correctness. This refers on the accuracy of the business letter, accurate on facts and figures, the use of correct spelling and grammar. This means that the letter is free from any error in language, form, data, and other technicalities. And the last one is the character. It shows a bit of uniqueness from the writer, giving the letter with a character and makes the letter more interesting. This means that your letter must have a personality. In other words, you as a communicator must be present in the letter. So, those are the 8 C's of business letter. And now let's talk about the attributes that are needed to achieve the 8 C's. So, here we have their relationship. Now, first we have the keen imagination. Keen imagination helps us to achieve these C's: the character, creativity, and originality. Richness of specific terms help us to achieve clarity, conciseness, and concreteness. Next, good command of English help us to achieve clarity, conciseness, and correctness. Enthusiasm help us to achieve cheerfulness and character, while sense of humor help us to achieve consideration and courtesy. Next, we have the personal and individual. Personal help us to achieve courtesy, while individual help us to achieve the consideration. Next, understanding the human nature help us to achieve the courtesy, character, and consideration. And now, the last one is the good judgment. When we talk about good judgment, it covers all the 8 C's. We must remember its 6 principles: the keen intellect, normal emotionality, thorough understanding of human nature, sincerity, integrity, and business experience. Now, to sum up, keen imagination helps us to achieve character, creativity, and originality. Richness of specific terms help us to achieve clarity, conciseness, and concreteness. Good command of English help us to achieve clarity, conciseness, and correctness. Enthusiasm help us to achieve cheerfulness and character. Sense of humor help us to achieve consideration and courtesy. Personal and individual help us to achieve courtesy and consideration. Understanding the human nature help us to achieve courtesy, character, and consideration. And the last one, good judgment, covers all the 8 C's. We must always remember its 6 principles: keen intellect, normal emotionality, thorough understanding of human nature, sincerity, integrity, and business experience. So, those attributes and C's will help us to have an effective business letters. And why is it important to have effective business letters? It is important because effective business letters are an important tool in the arsenal of every business person, whether intended to sell a product or service, or simply to introduce the writer himself. An effective business letter must have a few basic characteristics to get a reader to respond favorably. The letter must call the recipient to action, convince him to do what the writer desires. All effective business letters have certain qualities in common. Therefore, if you are a good writer, then you have the 8 C's and the 8 attributes, you will end up with a deal. So that's all. Thank you, and this is Seminarian Stephen G. Camacho.